Hi guys, Coach Julia. Coach Julia here with another video for you today. This is not like, why am I so tall, you guys? There we go. So today we're going to be talking about self-doubt. And I consider self-doubt as a trigger for depression. So we're going to go a little bit into the different types of self-doubt, and when it comes to unhealthy self-doubt, what are the mechanisms we use to get in our own way and how that's going to trigger depression. So to get started, let's talk about what is self-doubt, okay? So self-doubt is questioning things, questioning if you can do them, questioning if you're right for the job, questioning your ability. And sometimes it's not always horrible because, to be honest, healthy self-doubt is there sometimes to challenge us and remind us of things that we cannot do and humble us and help us be more relatable to other people. But there is unhealthy self-doubt, and that's no joke. Unhealthy self-doubt is bad because self-doubt becomes unhealthy when you get in your own way, right? When you're not willing to try new things, and when you stay stagnant and you're not moving forward because of that unhealthy self-doubt. So there's two types, and I believe unhealthy self-doubt definitely triggers depression, because if you struggle with depression, if you feel like you're standing in your own way, if you feel like you can't move forward, if you think you are less than what you are, then those are definitely some triggers for depression. All right, so let's get into some of the mechanisms that we use when we have unhealthy self-doubt. So the first one I want to talk about is the self-fulfilling prophecy. Some of you might remember what that means. No, we're not talking about prophets or prophecies over your life. We're talking about your ability to convince your brain of whatever you say, right? Whatever you say to yourself, whatever you think will eventually become your truth. And those thoughts, that belief system, will be ingrained in your neural passageways. It will live in your brain and it will live in your soul. So the self-fulfilling prophecy is somebody saying, I can't do it. I suck. I'm a loser. There's no way I could ever accomplish this. And eventually your brain, your psyche is going to believe that about you, and you're going to find yourself standing in your own way, unable to move forward. So the self-fulfilling prophecy is a mechanism, right, that we use when we have unhealthy self-doubt. Okay, now the second mechanism I want to talk about is my personal favorite, because it's the one that I've personally struggled with all my life, and it is self-sabotage. I think almost everyone can relate to self-sabotaging in one way or another. So what is self-sabotage? Self-sabotaging, okay? Self-sabotaging is the act of not doing something because you're scared, right? So for example, let's say you're studying for a test and you decide to stop studying, okay? You're not gonna study anymore because you think you're gonna fail. What's the point in studying if you know you're gonna fail, and then when you fail, you just tell yourself, oh, I was going to fail anyway, right? It's basically not doing something because you're scared that you're not gonna be successful at it. And it's something that I've personally done, and I've had to fight through. And it took me a little bit, to be honest, because it was like, why do I keep doing things to hurt myself, right? Another example of self-sabotage, people do in relationships all the time. When they're scared of committing, they're scared of getting hurt, they will do actions or not do actions, right? Because they figure it's gonna fall apart anyway, so what's the point? So that's basically self-sabotage. So we have self-fulfilling prophecy and we have self-sabotaging. All right, and then the third and last one I wanna talk about is the imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome is a mechanism that is deeply tied to anxiety and depression. It's basically born from self-doubt. So what is the imposter syndrome? The imposter syndrome is when you say to yourself, I shouldn't do this. I'm a fraud, right? Whatever your personal accomplishments are, whatever your success has been, you tend to attribute it to luck or to the outside, right? Oh, I got lucky. Oh, I was only able to do this because that person helped me. And you discredit your own ability and strengths. So the self-imposter syndrome is very tied to self-doubt and definitely triggers depression. All right, so to review over the 3 wonderful mechanisms of doom that we all participate in, right? Is we have a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? We have self-sabotaging, and we have the imposter syndrome. The reason why I want to talk about, there's a lot of other ones, but I wanted to focus on these 3 because I think they're the 3 main ones. And I also wanted to share with you guys that when you have unhealthy self-doubt like this, these have been proven, right, to be triggers of depression, anxiety, sadness, and it's super important that we're able to identify these triggers, we're able to identify these moments where we're having unhealthy self-doubt. When you have unhealthy self-doubt, it's been linked to depression, feelings of guilt, anxiety, feelings of worthlessness, shame, a lot of negative emotions that do not serve you as an individual. And then the question arises, right? What do you do? What do you do when you're having these deep, unhealthy self-doubts? And my answer is connection. Where you're like, Coach Julia, what do you mean by connection? I mean, surround yourself with people. Surround yourself with people who love you, friends, family. Put yourself out there. Because a lot of times when we have unhealthy self-doubt, we're stuck deep in our own minds. We're deep in a place where it's hard to come out. And when you have people around you that love you and care about you and support you, they're going to validate you. They're going to build you up. They're going to say, hey, Sophia, that's not true about you, right? You're definitely self-sabotaging right now. I don't know why you're not even trying. Or, hey, Timothy, imposter syndrome. What are you talking about? You built that company from the ground up, right? You could have never achieved that if you weren't so awesome and smart. So just to review, basically we talked about 3 mechanisms. We talked about, first we talked about the difference between healthy doubt and unhealthy doubt, right? Then we talked about 3 main mechanisms that we use. And then we linked them to depression as triggers. And then we quickly talked about just, I think, what is the most powerful way to combat those unhealthy self-doubts, which is connection, right? Having people who can, not argue, I don't like the word argue, but contradict your self-doubt, right? To help show you that your self-doubt is unfounded. So this has been another video with Coach Julia. Please feel free to comment, tell me what you guys thought. We're working on the whole setup. I know it's kind of a mess, and I'm pretty sure you can see the ring light. Oh, that's cool. That's lovely. Nice job, Julia. Nobody would know you streamed for 2.5 years. Anyway, we'll work on this, but I just want to get this video out to you guys as soon as possible because I think it's a very important topic. So let me know in the comments what you thought. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We will be dropping at least a video per week. And thank you guys for being here with me. I appreciate it.